Ancient healers called it the tree of life. Not one ancient tradition, not one region of the world. Across ancient India, ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, and ancient Africa, across cultures that had no contact with each other, healers who encountered the Moringa oleifera tree arrived at the same extraordinary conclusion. This tree was different from every other plant in their pharmacopoeia. Ancient Ayurvedic physicians documented Moringa as capable of preventing over 300 diseases, a claim that sounds like mythology until you examine the modern nutritional analysis of its leaves. Ancient Egyptian physicians used moringa oil to protect the skin against the desert environment and prescribed the leaves for nutritional deficiencies they observed in their patients. Ancient Greek and Roman physicians traded moringa oil at prices comparable to precious metals because they understood its value as medicine. In ancient Africa, where moringa grows natively and has been used for thousands of years, traditional healers called it the never-die tree. Because in conditions of drought, famine, and nutritional collapse, when every other food source failed, moringa kept people alive and kept them well. Modern nutritional science has now analyzed exactly why ancient healers were correct. What they called the tree of life, nutritional biochemistry calls the most nutrient-dense plant ever measured. Today I am sharing exactly what moringa does, 8 specific things, and why ancient healers considered it the most complete food and medicine available in the natural world. The first thing moringa does, it delivers a nutritional profile that almost no other single plant can match. Gram for gram, dried moringa leaf contains 7 times the vitamin C of oranges, 4 times the calcium of milk, 4 times the vitamin A of carrots, 2 times the protein of yogurt, 3 times the potassium of bananas, and significant quantities of iron, magnesium, zinc, and all 8 essential amino acids, making it one of the only plants on Earth to provide complete protein. Ancient healers who prescribed moringa for malnourished patients were prescribing the most complete nutritional intervention available to them. They observed that patients who received moringa consistently recovered faster, maintained energy longer, and showed better resistance to illness than those given other foods. They did not have nutritional biochemistry. They had thousands of patients and careful observation. Their conclusions were correct in every measurable detail. The second thing moringa does, it reduces inflammation with clinical precision. Moringa leaves contain isothiocyanates, specifically moringin and moringinine, compounds that inhibit the NF-κB inflammatory pathway, the same master inflammatory transcription factor that drives chronic systemic inflammation at the cellular level. Moringa also contains quercetin and chlorogenic acid, flavonoids that inhibit the COX inflammatory enzymes, and zeatin, a cytokinin that reduces the production of inflammatory cytokines throughout the body. Ancient Ayurvedic physicians prescribed moringa specifically for what they called the diseases of excess heat. Their description of chronic inflammatory conditions including joint disease, skin inflammation, and digestive inflammation. They observed that consistent moringa consumption reduced the signs of inflammation, heat, pain, and swelling across multiple body systems simultaneously. Modern anti-inflammatory research has confirmed that moringa's multi-pathway anti-inflammatory action is one of the most comprehensive found in any single plant. The third thing moringa does, it regulates blood sugar. Moringa leaves contain isothiocyanates that improve insulin sensitivity, the ability of cells to respond to insulin and absorb glucose from the bloodstream. They also contain chlorogenic acid, which slows the absorption of glucose in the gut by inhibiting the enzymes that break down complex carbohydrates. producing a flatter, more gradual glucose response after meals. Clinical studies have shown that consuming moringa leaf powder before meals reduces post-meal blood glucose spikes by up to 21% in people with elevated blood sugar. Ancient Ayurvedic physicians prescribed moringa specifically for patients showing the signs they called the sweet disease, documenting its blood sugar effects across. The fourth thing moringa does, it protects and supports the liver. The liver is the body's primary detoxification organ, and moringa has been shown in multiple studies to be specifically hepatoprotective, protective of liver cells. Moringa's isothiocyanates and flavonoids reduce oxidative stress in liver tissue, accelerate the removal of toxic compounds that accumulate in liver cells, and have been shown to reduce ALT and AST enzyme levels, the primary blood markers of liver inflammation and damage. Ancient Egyptian physicians used moringa oil specifically for liver conditions, observing that patients who consumed it consistently showed improvement in the signs they associated with liver burden: yellowing of the eyes, digestive difficulty, and skin eruptions. Ancient Ayurvedic medicine listed moringa as one of the primary liver tonics in its entire pharmacopoeia, a classification confirmed by modern hepatology research. The fifth thing moringa does, it lowers cholesterol. Multiple clinical trials have found that daily moringa leaf consumption reduces total cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, and triglycerides while maintaining or increasing HDL cholesterol, the protective form. The mechanism involves moringa's beta-sitosterol content, a plant sterol that competes with dietary cholesterol for absorption in the gut, reducing the amount of cholesterol that enters the bloodstream. Ancient healers did not have the concept of cholesterol, but they observed that patients who consumed moringa consistently showed a reduction in what they called the thickening of the blood. Their description of the cardiovascular risk factors that moringa measurably reduces. Ancient Egyptian physicians specifically prescribed moringa for patients they described as having a heavy heart, their clinical observation of cardiovascular burden. The sixth thing moringa does, it supports brain health and mental clarity. Moringa contains moringanine and isothiocyanates that cross the blood-brain barrier and act as neuroprotective compounds, reducing neuroinflammation, protecting neurons from oxidative damage, and modulating the production of neurotransmitters including serotonin and dopamine. Research has shown that moringa supplementation improves memory, reduces anxiety, and protects against the neuronal damage associated with neurodegenerative conditions. Ancient Ayurvedic physicians prescribed moringa specifically for what they called the clearing of the mind, observing that patients who consumed it consistently showed improvement in memory, concentration, and emotional stability. They classified moringa as a medhya rasayana, a brain tonic, one of the highest classifications in Ayurvedic medicine, reserved for plants with demonstrated effects on cognitive function. The seventh thing moringa does, it supports the immune system comprehensively. Moringa's extraordinary vitamin C content, 7 times that of oranges, directly supports the production and function of white blood cells, the primary immune defenders. Its vitamin A content supports the integrity of the mucous membranes, the first barrier against infection in the respiratory and digestive tracts. Its zinc content is essential for the development of T cells, and its quercetin content has direct antiviral activity, inhibiting the replication of several classes of virus. Ancient healers who prescribed moringa for immune support were delivering one of the most comprehensively immune-supportive nutritional packages available from a single plant. Ancient African traditional medicine specifically prescribed moringa at the onset of illness, observing that patients who received it recovered faster and with fewer complications than those who did not. The eighth thing Moringa does: it supports skin and hair health from within. Moringa's vitamin C content drives collagen synthesis, the structural protein that gives skin its firmness and elasticity and provides the scaffolding that keeps hair follicles healthy. Its vitamin A content regulates skin cell turnover and maintains the integrity of the skin barrier. Its zinc content reduces sebum production and supports wound healing. And its antioxidant compounds, specifically quercetin, caempferol, and chlorogenic acid, neutralize the free radical damage that accelerates skin aging. Cleopatra is historically documented as using moringa oil in her skin preparations alongside black seed oil. Ancient Egyptian cosmetic and medical papyri describe moringa oil as the primary preparation for skin protection in the desert environment, where UV radiation, dryness, and heat produced exactly the oxidative skin damage that moringa's antioxidants counteract. How to use moringa correctly. Fresh moringa leaves, eaten raw in salads or cooked lightly as a vegetable, preserve the most active compounds. Dried moringa leaf powder, 1 to 2 teaspoons added to warm water, smoothies, or food each morning, is the most practical daily form for most people. Moringa oil, applied topically to skin and hair, provides the external benefits that ancient Egyptians documented. Start with half a teaspoon of dried leaf powder and increase gradually. Moringa is powerful, and some people experience a detoxification response when beginning. Mild digestive changes in the first week are normal and indicate the liver and gut are responding to the hepatoprotective compounds. Ancient healers prescribed moringa not as a treatment for specific disease, but as a daily maintenance of the entire body, a prevention rather than a cure. The Never Die tree was not named for what it healed, it was named for what it prevented. If this found you at the right moment, share it with one person who needs to know about this tree. They may never have encountered what ancient healers called the most complete medicine in the natural world. Subscribe to Ancient Body Wisdom and come back every single week. There is so much more the healers knew, and we are only just beginning.